Yo, what's up, gamers? So I only came into the break room because I was clearing out the old media shelf. The one that still smells like 2002 and bad energy drinks. And that's when I remembered something. There was a time when Star Wars games was just wild. Not cinematic, not live service, just aliens going really fast and occasionally exploding. And somehow one of those games just caused absolute chaos in the beginning of 2026. But before we hit ludicrous speed, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and tell me in the comments down below. Did you ever play a Star Wars racing game? Or did you skip straight from lightsabers to regret? Alright, now it's time to grab a mop and let's talk about how an old pod racing game briefly turned into a gold bar. So back in 2002, Star Wars dropped a game called Star Wars Racer Revenge. And it was basically the Phantom Menace if you stripped out the politics and kept only the pod racing. Then it cranked it to an 11. You picked a weird alien racer, strapped it to a pod racer that looked like it's held together by duct tape and hope, and then you go fast. The whole point is speed, chaos, and trying not to explode on a canyon wall. And if you're feeling especially unhinged, there's even a mode where rival racers can be permanently destroyed, no respawns, no second chances. If they crash, they're gone. It wasn't some all-time classic, but it was fun, it was fast, and it perfectly captured that early 2000s era where Star Wars games were willing to be a little weird and a little mean. Fast forward to 2019 and limited run games decided to bring Racer Revenge back, but only as a physical PS4 release. And when they say limited, they mean blink and you missed it limited. Roughly around 8,500 copies total. Retail price is somewhere between $15 and $40 depending on the edition. And at the time, nobody cared. This was a $20 nostalgia disc quietly sitting on shelves, collecting dust, minding its own business, right up until the internet noticed it existed. And once the internet locks eyes on something limited, it's already over. Alright, now here's the scoop. Right around New Year's 2026, hackers noticed something spicy. Turns out the PS4 disc version of Star Wars Racer Revenge could be used as an entry point for early PS5 jailbreak experiments, exploiting a bug in the Hall of Fame menu to inject code. Only the physical disc works, not the digital versions, not the download versions, not wishful thinking. Why? Because discs talk to the PS5 at a deeper system level than digital games do. Suddenly this random pod racing title wasn't just a fun throwback, it became the potential skeleton key for poking around the console's security UI. Nobody cared about racing anymore, they cared about what the specific disc might unlock. And the moment that rumor hit, eBay absolutely lost its mind. A game that was sitting at $20 per year suddenly jumped to $200, $300, and at the peak of the chaos, $400 or more. Sealed copies disappeared almost instantly. Listings would go up and be gone within minutes. People started panic buying first and asking questions never. Sellers relisted the same disc over and over, bumping the price every time someone bid. Buyers convinced themselves this was an investment. Scalpers who couldn't tell a jailbreak from a lunch break still knew hype when they smelled it. All of this frenzy was over one specific requirement, a limited run PS4 disc running on very specific PS5 firmware, for an exploit that might work. But logic doesn't matter once eBay gets feral, only screenshots of old sold listings do. Now here's the part everyone skipped while smashing the buy now button. Yes, the jailbreak is real, but it's not the magic PS5 free-for-all people hype. It's more proof of concept than full system takeover. Doesn't work well on newer firmwares, and what hackers have already unlocked so far is closer to, hey, look what we might do someday, then play anything forever. Once that reality sank in, the hype started leaking out like a busted mop bucket. As of January 19, 2026, prices are cooling down. Most sealed copies are sitting at $185 to $300 range. Auctions are closing lower, sometimes closer to $150 or $200. Premium editions still ask more, but they're moving slower now that the initial panic buyers tapped out. So yeah, still wildly overpriced compared to the $20 days, but nowhere near the $400 this unlocks the PS5 forever madness anymore. Turns out hype doesn't age as well as people think. If you just want to play Racer Revenge, do yourself a favor and grab the digital version on the PlayStation Store. And it doesn't involve rolling the dice on your console's life expectancy. Because jailbreaking isn't some harmless side quest, Best case, you spend hours tinkering for a tiny win. The worst case, you break your system, lose online access, or turn a $500 console into a very fancy doorstop. The physical disc everyone fought for? It's not a golden ticket, it's a lottery scratch-off, and right now most people are just scratching and losing. Well, that's enough pod racing dust for one shift. I gotta bounce. One old Star Wars game got a taste of fame, eBay lost its balance, and reality eventually showed up with the mop. But before I clock out, do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and tell me in the comments down below. Would you ever pay $200 for a game because of a jailbreak rumor? Or are you sticking to a cheap digital copy like a responsible adult? This is Scruffy the Janitor signing off. Peace out.